What if I told you that the smartest investor you've ever met might still make dumb decisions with money? What if I told you that someone who never studied finance could retire with quiet wealth, peace of mind, and total freedom? Crazy? Not at all. Because when it comes to money, no one's crazy. We just think differently. This is the real reason people behave the way they do with money, and it has nothing to do with intelligence. Welcome to Chapter 1 of The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This chapter is called No One's Crazy, and once you understand it, your entire mindset about wealth, success, and human behavior will transform. Let's begin. Section 1. Money is personal, not logical. Money isn't math, it isn't science, it's not even logic. Money is emotion, it's stories, it's survival, it's memory, it's psychology. When we look at someone spending recklessly or investing fearfully or avoiding saving at all, we're quick to say that's dumb. Why would anyone do that? But Morgan Housel asks us to pause, because that decision, as irrational as it might seem to us, probably makes perfect sense to them. Why? Because their entire view of money was shaped by their personal experience, their background, their pain, their luck, their timing. Section 2. A tale of two histories. Let's take two people, both born in the same year, same city, same education, same job. One grew up in a family that lived through the Great Depression. They saw banks collapse. They saw people lose everything. The other? They grew up in the 90s tech boom. They saw stock markets rise. They saw money being made out of thin air. Now fast forward. Both of them are 35 years old, and each is trying to decide what to do with their money. One hoards cash in fear of another collapse. The other throws everything into the market without hesitation. Who's wrong? Who's irrational? Neither. They're just acting based on what they've seen. And that's Morgan's point. No one's crazy, but everyone's different. Section 3. The experience filter. Morgan puts it beautifully. Your personal experience with money may make up 0.000000001% of what's happened in the world, but it makes up 80% of how you think money works. That's massive. Imagine someone who's never experienced inflation trying to understand why someone else distrusts cash, or someone who's never lost money in the stock market trying to grasp market fear. We don't act based on data. We act based on memory, on fear, on survival. If your parents lost your childhood home, if you grew up hearing arguments about debt, if you've been laid off unexpectedly, that becomes your financial operating system, and it runs quietly in the background all your life. Section 4. Intelligence doesn't guarantee success. Here's something shocking. You can have a PhD in economics and still make terrible money decisions. You can be a financial analyst and still have no savings. You can be a janitor and retire a millionaire. Why? Because financial success has less to do with IQ and more to do with behavior. Morgan reminds us, doing well with money has little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave. Traits like patience, discipline, risk tolerance, humility, long-term thinking. These are behavioral strengths, not academic ones. Money doesn't reward brilliance. It rewards consistency. Section 5. The danger of judging others. Here's where it gets real. We often look at others and say, why don't they invest more? Why do they waste money? Why don't they take risks? But what if they grew up watching everything be taken from them? What if debt ruined their parents' marriage? What if they've been burned before? When you understand this, something powerful happens. You stop judging. You stop mocking. You stop forcing your path on others, because your financial life is not their financial life. We're not all playing the same game. We're not starting at the same place, and we're not aiming for the same goal. Some people want security, others want freedom, some want control, some want comfort. So what's crazy to you might be safe to someone else. Section 6. Behavior greater than strategy. Here's the real secret. You don't need to follow the perfect investing strategy. You don't need to beat the market. You don't need to be a financial genius. You just need to know yourself and play your game. Save more than you spend. Be patient when others panic. Avoid debt when possible. Invest in what you understand. And most of all, be consistent. That's how real wealth is built. Not through hot stock tips, not through crypto pumps, not through following what everyone else is doing, but through knowing what matters to you and making money decisions that align with it. Morgan Housel ends this chapter with a truth we all need to remember. People do some crazy things with money, but no one's crazy. Everyone has a reason for what they do. You may not agree with their path, but when you understand their story, you realize they're just trying to survive, to protect, to control, to avoid pain, and that is completely human. So instead of chasing perfection, focus on building awareness. Ask yourself, where did my money habits come from? What fears am I carrying? What financial traumas shaped me? Am I acting from intention or from experience I haven't questioned? Because once you gain clarity, you gain control. And when you have control, you can build the life you want. Thank you for watching Chapter 1 of The Psychology of Money. If this opened your eyes, drop a like.